Hi everyone, so today's our converting lesson. The other day, I went to the grocery store and I just wanted to buy an apple. So I asked the store clerk, "How much for this apple, sir?" And then he said to me, "Well, it depends. If we're in America, it's $1. If we're in Europe, it's 0.924 euros. If we're in Mexico, it's 25.8 Mexican pesos. If we're in Canada, it's 1.420 Canadian dollars. If we're in Australia, it's 1.655 Australian dollars. And if we're in Britain, it's 0.816 pounds." So we're used to the American dollar. We never really worry about the other currency unless we go out of the country. So let's take the dollar, the American dollar, to the Mexican peso. And by the way, when I say Mexican peso and American dollar, it's because there's other types of currencies that are dollars or pesos. There's the Dominican peso, there's Colombian, Argentinian pesos, and more. And then there's different dollars, such as the Canadian dollar, Barbados dollar, Bahamas dollar, the American dollar. All right, so for our example here, it's going to be the American dollar and the Mexican pesos. So if we're going to Mexico, we'd convert the dollar into a Mexican peso. So every dollar we have, it's 25.17 Mexican pesos. Then say we want to come back to America with our pesos, we're now going to convert it back, and it's 0.79 cents for each 20 peso. And notice there's a symbol. So the symbol for the dollar is usually this, and for the peso, it's this. So there's all different types of symbols for all different money across the world. And you're probably asking yourself, what does this have to do with geometry? Well, I'll tell you. So when we look at angles, there's different ways to represent angles. Now, we could represent them in degrees, but there's different types of measurements, just like there's different types of money across the world. So say this angle was 20 pesos. Well, if it's congruent, it could be 79 cents. But we don't usually measure our angles in pesos or 79 cents, right? We usually use degrees. Now, we're used to degrees, just like we're used to the American money. So radian mode is actually going to be like our peso. We're not used to it, but it's another way to measure an angle. So 100 pesos is actually 5 pi 9 radians. So how do we go about converting? So today we're going to be bankers. We're going to convert from degrees to radians and radians back to degrees. And we're going to use these formulas. And notice there's a pi over 180, and here it's 180 over pi. So it all depends on which way we're converting. For degrees to radians, we're going to have the pi on top because we want pi in your answer. So let's do this one together. I'm going to get my pen out. So we're going to get 30 degrees, and we're going to convert it to radian mode. So it's really 30 over 1. So it's 30 pi, and the pi has to be on top of our equation because we want pi on the top. And if we reduce 30 over 180, we want to reduce the fraction, and it would just cancel out the zeros. You get 3 over 18 pi radian mode. Now you have to put rad. Rad is like our symbol, just like degree is our symbol for degrees. Or you have the money symbol and the peso symbol, right? So rad is the symbol for radian mode. So this would just be your answer. Now if we're going from radians back to degrees, so say they gave you 3 pi over 5. This is our formula. We're going to do 3 pi over 5. We're going to multiply it by 180 over pi. Since the pi is in the denominator, it cancels with the numerator pi. And we just have 3 times 180 over 5. And once you calculate it, you should get 108 degrees. And we're back to degree mode. Okay, and that's the mode that we're used to. But right now, we're going to do back and forth from radians to degrees today. All right, so good luck. And just follow the model problem and the formulas. All right, have fun.